Alright, what is up boys and girls, welcome back to another video. Checking out the stock market today for another daily update on the channel. As we can see, things looking really good. To be honest, we are at all-time highs yet again. You can see we've quite clearly recently come up, ran up to a new all-time high, consolidated, and we are just continuing right now. Things looking like they are really recovering nicely. We've got this lovely V-shaped recovery of the stock market. Obviously a little bit of volatility as we came and dropped down all the way down an amazing 2,000 points, 1,500 points from where we're currently at just a few months ago. Incredible recovery back to the upside. Looking very similar, to be honest, to when we saw the COVID crash all the way back here. Pretty much a one-for-one comparison, I would say, although not quite as stark. But obviously with all the tariff wars that we saw going on with Trump, we did have a significant drop in the market and an incredible recovery right now back to the upside. Obviously at all-time highs we come up, we have a little bit of consolidation over the past week or so. The past few weeks and then continuing up today here. I can't imagine we won't see anything but continuations to new all-time highs, to be honest. I think a lot of the Trump tariff situation, the tariff wars, is mostly behind us, and we'll probably see a lot less volatility in the markets as well going into August, where you generally have low volatility during the summer. As we can see, obviously, over the past week or so, we've really just had a decent amount of sideways chop as we entered this new all-time high area. We ran up, hit new all-time highs, consolidated as you would imagine, and then continued to the upside. Obviously hit a new all-time high again on Friday. A little bit of a pullback going into the evening, and now I'd probably expect us to continue to new all-time highs as well going into this next week. As you can see, overall, just looking very bullish here. Ever since we came down with that massive volatility to the downside in April, and since then we've been grinding back to the upside. Slowing down a little bit in terms of the upside. We could potentially have a pullback in the markets if there are any big fundamental changes or news. But right now, as we can see, on the index S&P 500, we are looking good. A little bit of consolidation, the breakout, the back test, and we could see continuation going into this week. I can't see any reason why we wouldn't see any more upside, to be honest. Let's just take a look at a few of the big stocks in the market then, some of the biggest ones around so we can see what's going on. Tesla right now, in a bit of a weird spot, to be honest. You can see, obviously, it benefited from when Trump won the election in the US. We got this nice Trump pump, but we did get that retracement all the way down here in line with the rest of a lot of the stock market falling. And Tesla is actually yet to recover. You can see here it's probably on the way to being back up towards this $360 level here by the looks of things, but obviously lagging behind a little bit of other stocks in the market. You can see Nvidia absolutely blasting to all-time highs again. As you can see, Nvidia pretty much an unstoppable force at the minute. Obviously, it did have a little bit of a pullback in line with the rest of the market, as you can see, down to $87. But we have had an insane recovery and continuation to the upside. As you can imagine, Nvidia has been, this is the biggest stock in the world right now, I believe. An absolutely incredible performance to continue to the upside yet again. You can see we did have this decent amount of consolidation before. We really just came down here, scared everyone out of the markets, and then got that lovely reversal. I can't believe that this has basically gone up 100%, over 100% in the space of 3 months. That's crazy for a stock, absolutely crazy. Really good performance. You can see the hourly time frame basically just up. Every single day gapping to the upside pretty much as well. And looking really strong. You can see why this is really big in the markets right now. Everyone's piling into this. Although you could imagine a pullback could be quite likely at some point, considering how incredibly overbought this is, in my opinion. So I would be careful of buying things when they are at crazy all-time highs like this, unless you're averaging into markets, just because you could see a pullback at any point. And in my opinion, it's pretty crazy to be buying Nvidia at $173 when it was just at $86 3 months ago. But anyway, obviously Nvidia looking really good. Tesla looking like it's in a bit of a weird spot, probably to do with Elon Musk being at ends and at odds with Trump at the minute. Microsoft here, actually looking pretty good over the past, what we're looking at here. This is an incredible gap, isn't it? Look at this massive gap. A $30 gap on Microsoft. That is crazy. Is this chart correct? But anyway, Microsoft looking really strong as well, grinding to the upside here, as you can see. Really no pullbacks at all. Ever since we came down, like most of these big stocks, came down, scared everyone out of the markets down here at $345. And then since then, recovering, massive gap to the upside. Now we're at all-time highs again, just like a lot of cryptos are. Microsoft really an incredibly consistent performer over its life cycle, especially over the past 10 years. Look at this incredible performance, a 10x in the past 10 years, 100% gains every year. That's pretty insane price action. And it looks like it's just continuing here. People continuing to average in, as you would expect. Amazon also in a bit of a weird spot. Obviously, it went through a bit of a rough patch a few years ago, but you can see right now coming back up towards all-time highs again, even though Jeff Bezos appears to be selling a lot of his stock. But overall, looking okay right now. Amazon as well, looking like it's quite likely to continue back up to this all-time high area, currently at $226. Probably going to be trading over $230 pretty quickly, and then back to this all-time high. There's no real roadblocks here why this wouldn't just recover and continue back to the all-time high, obviously, unless we get a really bad earnings report. But that seems unlikely. Amazon are absolutely killing it. Apple, still in a bit of a weird spot as well. You can see, obviously, we came down during April, and we've yet to recover in a similar position to Tesla, really, where it kind of had a little bit of a bounce and is waiting to see if it will bounce up again. Apple here, as you can see, we've come down and we're kind of chopping sideways. Bit of a weird spot for Apple right now in terms of earnings and also in terms of revenue. But I think this will probably recover pretty quickly once we start seeing the rest of the market pumping up to all-time highs. I think a lot of people are just investing in Nvidia right now, and it's kind of leaving a few of these other tech giants behind a little bit. But you can see historically, Apple has always had these periods where it consolidates and then continues up again. Interesting, over the past 5 years, it's not made those incredible gains that other stocks have been making, but I would expect that we'll probably come back to this all-time high in line with the rest of the market pretty soon. Google here, very, very similar story again, although looking like this one's recovering more. Bit more choppy, the price action on Google here. A lot of volatility in the market. Quite a lot of big swinging up and down on the way up, back up here. You can see we're getting these pretty significant $5, maybe even $10 swings for Google on the way back up. But always when you look at the macro, you can see predominantly we are heading back up, and I would expect this over the next few weeks to start heading back up towards this all-time high again, in line with the rest of the market. And then looking at Meta finally, just have a quick look and see what's going on with this. You can see we came up and hit a new all-time high for Meta as well. I cannot believe the incredible drop that Meta had a few years ago. I mean, this is an absolutely wild move to the downside. Sub $100 and now back up at an all-time high of 700. People that were buying this, you are hella clever. That is an incredible result for you. You can see this has performed exceptionally well since its inception only 13 years ago. It's hit a new all-time high here, having a little bit of a pullback as you'd expect as people sell off some shares because they have obviously been up at all-time highs. But overall, the stock market in general, looking pretty bullish. The outlook for me is still going to be bullish. We're obviously going into a new week here, and I'd probably expect us with this little consolidation and breakout here to probably just continue to new all-time highs unless we see some kind of crazy news. And that is our review for today.